GLAAACC in the AM, and you are attending in GLAAACC in the AM, How to Do Business with Metro. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Angela Gibson Shaw, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president and CEO of GLAAACC, the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. And as many of you, those that know, GLAAACC is dedicated to the growth and development of Black-owned businesses in the Greater Los Angeles area. And the way that we achieve that is through education, equipping, engaging, and empowering our members. And today is one of those opportunities. This is part of our technical assistance program. It's GLAAACC in the AM as opposed to GLAAACC at night. And so this is where we take an opportunity to educate you and allow you to do a little networking and help you on your way to increase your capacity and capability. You know, that's one of the most important things to our members, and especially businesses of color, increasing your capability and your capacity. And so I'd like to also take a moment and introduce our staff. With us today, we have Jessica O'Davis. She's GLAACC's Special Events Coordinator and Social Media. GLAACC. Jessica, you want to wave? Can they see you?
Good afternoon, everyone.
And then we also have Naomi Scott. She's GLAACC's Operations Director.
Hello.
And it's our quite capable staff here handling all things GLAACC for you. So as I mentioned today, we've got a very special program for you, How to Do Business with Metro. And so my good friend Tasha Smith, who is the Metro LA Executive Officer of Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, has brought her staff and herself along to tell you about how to do business with Metro and some of the opportunities and talk about certification, because as you know, there's lots going on in Los Angeles with all of our big sports and global events taking place between now and leading up to the Olympics. A lot of infrastructure and upgrading of our city is taking place, and Metro's no different. They've got a lot going on too. And so we thought it was very important that you have an opportunity to understand how to be a part of this process. And it does start with understanding the process. So at this time, again, it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Tasha Smith.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Angela, for that introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to first thank Jean Hill and you, Angela, for inviting Metro to connect and join with you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. It's a pleasure. Thank you to the GLAAACC staff that's on the call and the GLAAACC membership for joining us for this workshop on how to do business with Metro. We're delighted to be here with you. I am the Executive Officer of Metro's Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, and that includes all things small business, our DBE program, all of our compliance. It includes our small business outreach. We also handle the workforce programs for Metro. So we have an expansive department and focus on equity and contracting in workforce. We also support small businesses that are impacted on our construction projects during construction. So as I said, it's happy to be here, and we have some slides that we're going to present to you today. I want to first do introductions for my team. We have Elke Campbell, our Deputy Executive Officer in Small Business Programs, and we also have Ramon Ortiz, our Director of Certification, who's also on. Next slide. Oh. We will be happy to take questions. If you want to put them in the chat, we can go through a question and answer period after we complete the presentation. So for Metro DEOD, which is our Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, what role do we play in assisting small business firms, certified firms, whether you're certified as a disadvantaged business enterprise, a DBE, a small business enterprise, local small business, disabled veteran business enterprise, all of those programs are covered under Metro's contracting program. So our role in DOD is to provide you with assistance from the inside. We're here to help you navigate Metro's contracting process and help to address any issues, concerns that you may have during that process, during solicitation, or if you're awarded a contract after award. We are advocates for small business. We have an extensive Metro Connect small business outreach program where we hold workshops throughout the year for small businesses, technical assistance about navigating the contracting process, connecting firms with primes, and other good information on our certification program and so forth. We serve as your system navigators in case you get lost in the process. We are here to assist. What are our responsibilities? Our responsibilities is to administer and oversee, as I mentioned, the small business program, all of our initiatives to help increase contracts that are awarded to small disadvantaged businesses at the prime level and also at the subcontract level on direct with Metro Prime contractors. We're here to publicize contract opportunities, to provide training, resources. We set contract goals on our contracts for DBE, SBE, DVBE participation, and we also monitor contract compliance from the award of the contract through contract closeout. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Elke Campbell, Deputy Executive Officer, Small Business Programs.
Thank you, Tasha, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm so very happy to be here with you all sharing this very important and valuable information. I'm going to go briefly through our notable programs here at LA Metro. First of all, and please excuse me if I'm looking from left to right, I have two monitors and my presentation's to my left. But we have our DBE program, and of course, this is our program that we apply for federal FTA and federal FHA dollars that we receive. So whenever there is a procurement that has federal FTA or FHWA dollars, we will be reviewing that to establish a DBE goal or disadvantaged business enterprise goal. For our agency, we recently, effective October 1st, had our triennial overall DBE goal go into effect. And for this next 3 triennial years, FY25, FY5 through 27, our overall goal is 31%. That is a 3% increase over last triennial period, which was 28%. We also have our notable SBE program, which is applied on non-federally funded procurement. So all things other than FTA, FHWA will be reviewed for a SBE goal. And as you know, when we set 99% of the time when we set an SBE goal, we will also have a 3% DVBE component, disabled veteran component to that SBE goal. For our agency, we currently have a 30% overall SBE goal for the agency. One of our newest initiatives or programs is our local small business preference, local small business enterprise preference program. So we applied this again on non-federally funded procurements only. It allows for 5% preference credit. So if it's an RFP, it would be a 5% preference. If it's an IFB, it would be a 5% discount. So one is points, one is a bid discount, but it applies if you are an LSBE prime, or if it's a non-LSBE prime, but they commit to subcontracting at least 30% of their contract value with eligible LSBE firms. They can be eligible to receive the preference. Again, it is just a preference, so they either get it or they don't. Our signature program is our SB Prime Set Aside program. This is one that we recently this year celebrated 10 years of our SB Prime program, which is applied on both federal and non-federal procurements between $3,000 and up to $5 million. It's strictly set aside for competition amongst Metro certified SBE firms only. So competition procurements in that range or set aside for certified small businesses only. And it changes up the norm. You know, it gives the small business an opportunity to be the prime because they only have to perform 30% of that contract value with their own workforce. So they're able to sub out 70% of that contract to the major firms, as you will. So it kind of switches up the norm there and lets the small business be the prime, but also still take advantage of mentoring opportunities from a major firm that is serving as their subcontractor. Another one of our programs is our medium-sized business enterprise program. And we recently, a couple of years ago, made some enhancements to this program. And we made it a two-tier approach. So MSZ1, what we heard from small businesses that were graduating out of the certification programs was there really was not a landing place for them to have opportunities set aside for them. So what we did, we looked at this and said, okay, how can we enhance what we already have in place to cover, that space and those firms that were no longer eligible for certification. So we broke it down. MSZ1 is the first tier. And again, it's going to provide opportunities for medium-sized firms. So you have your true small, medium-sized firms based on NAICS codes and gross receipts. And then you have those firms that have surpassed the limits of the certification programs. But then we also said, we feel like small businesses, certified firms can play around in this area too. So one, you can either be a true medium-sized business based on the eligibility and definition. You can be a recently graduated certified business, or you could be a DBE, SBE, and DVBE firm to compete. The contract threshold for this, again, is it bridged that gap between the SB prime and the medium size that we originally had. So now SB prime is up to 4.99 million. And the MSZ1 starts at 5 million and goes up to 14.99 million. So we no longer have that gap in contract threshold. And then you have your MSZ2, which is for the larger medium-sized businesses. So they have gross receipts that they start, the floor of their gross receipts is at least 30.72 million, but cannot exceed 2 times that. And then the contract threshold for that MSZ2 is 15 million up to 30 million. So it's on the larger side of our contracting threshold for our MSZ program. Some other notable initiatives and programs that we have in place, certainly our contractor outreach and mentoring plan, or our COMP program. This is applied on procurements greater than 25 million. Again, it's offering an opportunity and affording opportunity for protege development. Here you have your major firms and you're a subcontractor, and they're able, that mentoring is, I think, what was talked about, growing capacity. And that's where we see that getting the protege development to help you grow and increase your capacity and the ability of what your firm can do. So learning in new areas, growing into new areas, that's the object of the contract, the COMP program. One of our newest initiatives, maybe within the last year, is our 15-day pay initiative. We developed this to help mitigate the cash flow constraints that we know that small businesses face. So if you are a DBE certified firm or a Metro certified SBE firm and you are awarded a contract as a prime contractor, you're eligible to receive expedited payment terms. Our standard payment terms are net 30, but under our 15-day pay initiative, it's net 15. And we believe that that could help greatly to some small businesses who like we said, face cash flow constraints. So, of course, you have to still follow the process. We've updated our templates and our comp and pay language. So there are steps you have to take to ensure that if you are awarded a contract as a prime, that you are noting on your reading that comp and pay section in the solicitation and in your contract to know what your responsibilities are for making sure that you receive that, noting on your invoice that you are net 15 terms and things like that. So be sure if you get a contract as a prime that you are in fact reading that section. The contractor financing assistance program is something that is also new. The CFAP is what we call it, and it functions under our current contractor bonding and assisting program. And this is a resource that Metro that extends financing, excuse me, certified firms that are awarded a contract or that is currently performing on a Metro construction or construction professional services related contract. So right now it's in those areas. So if you're either construction or construction related, construction management, a construction company, and you're either a prime or you directly with Metro, or you are a subcontractor on the project. But the CFAP, it uses your awarded contract as collateral to advance contract specific funding, like if you need mobilization, buying equipment, materials, things like that. That's what the CFAP is available and can assist you in that area. Again, excuse me, this is a newly started program, but we hope if you are in this area of construction or construction professional services that you do take advantage of this opportunity that is afforded through the CFAP. And certainly under our bonding program, all of the initiatives and services that are available to small businesses through our bonding program with Meriwether and Williams, we would encourage you to also take advantage of the opportunities that are afforded there. What can we look forward to? So we're always working on something, because we have a board that is very small business minded and very supportive and appreciative of the efforts and what small businesses bring to the economy, to the community, to the LA area and region. And so in March of this year, they approved the development for DEOD to develop a 3-year pilot program for a micro small business program. We heard in our recent disparity study, which is on our website as well, that there are small, even though everybody's an SBE, there are smaller businesses that cannot necessarily compete with the larger, smaller businesses. And so we are currently in the process of developing the requirements for that program. We had a consultant do the framework and build all that out and look into that and tell us what that could possibly look like for us. So we are currently putting that all together and hope in the early part of 2025 that we will have that ready to roll out to assist those smaller SBE firms with opportunities. And then one of the what we would like to think is one of the most important things we could possibly provide as an agency or an organization or a small business advocate is small business technical assistance. And I think I heard that mentioned when the presentation began. But we recognize and understand that small technical assistance is needed, so much so that we are developing a small business technical assistance program to do just that, provide technical assistance to our certified small businesses during that they can utilize during the performance of their contract. We believe that this one-on-one technical assistance with industry experts would be most valuable, especially in the area of understanding. We've gone to a new project delivery method we call alternative project delivery. You have your CMGCs, or your construction management general contractor, CMGC, construction management, general contractor procurements. Then you have your PDBs, or your progressive design build projects, and they all have their different ways of happening. You know, they have that phased approach. They're aggressive in some instances. The contractor's on board from the beginning. So just navigating and understanding the requirements and to be a sub on those types of projects. How to file a claim. And these are all areas, and certainly this is not an exhaustive list. There are all kinds of things that can come up, and things that would need support for small businesses. But these are some of the things we recognize in our day-to-day of what we see happening. But how to file a claim. If you're on a project and you're not being paid, and there's an instance and something's happening, and what do you do? And if dispute resolution is not working, and you know you've done all you can, what's your next step? How to file a claim. That's another important area. Dispute resolution. How to navigate through the dispute resolution process. The change order process, or the request for change. That's another area. So these are just some of the examples of some of the things that we will be offering in our technical assistance program, but certainly there is more things that will be available through that program. Just some numbers, some statistics of how we're doing so far in our programs with awards. What have we actually done with small business opportunities at so from FY18 to FY24, we've awarded about $432 million to SBE certified firms, and another $415 million to DBE certified firms. Under our SB Prime program, we're well over 400 million since the inception of that program, doing very well there. Our disabled veterans, we've awarded about 3.3 of our 3% overall goal, or 32 million to disabled veterans. So I think I heard Tasha say I would put us up against any agency across this country when it comes to what we're doing to help reduce barriers and increase opportunities for small businesses in contracting. And I agree with her. Our vendor portal certainly is a place where you can find those opportunities that we currently have available, and all other resources. I would encourage you all to take a look at our vendor portal, www.metro.net/connect. And Jan Davis and Helen Carcamo, they're actually our strategic outreach specialists. And certainly you can reach out to them for anything, all things outreach. This is the screenshot of our vendor portal. And I've also provided a link to some other things further down. But if you go to that metro.net/connect, you'll go to vendor portal. You will see these tabs across the top here. You want to look for solicitations. But like I said, there's all kinds of things in here, events. And our toolkit is another valuable resource with all things DOD, small business. Our TBAG Advisory Council, they have a web page here. They meet the first Thursday of every month. We have links to reports, our policies, our current policies are here. So certification links are also here, right, Ramon? If you are interested in getting certified, this would be the page for that as well. But Ramon will go into that. Open solicitations is what you want to, when you click on solicitations, open solicitations is what you want to go to. and you'll see these things. You can filter, you can search by. If you're looking for only small business primes, you would click on small business primes. If you're looking for a medium-sized one opportunities or medium-sized two, you would click on either one of these and it would take you right there. You would see something like this. If you clicked on the open solicitations and you would see it, and you scroll down, you'll see in the body these opportunities down here, and you would just simply click on the blue link to get more information about the actual project, what the goal is, what the funding source is, who the CA is. All of that information is contained within there. You kind of get to see something like this. What's the title of the procurement? What's the description? What type? If it's an RFP or IFB, the evaluation information, if there is any, if it's a set aside, yes or no, what the applicable NAICS codes, what are the applicable NAICS code for that project? What's the goal? We have a 15% goal on this project. When it was issued, when is the due date, when was the pre-proposal, where was the pre-proposal, if there was a site visit, if it was applicable, again, who's the CA, because this is who you want to contact if you have questions about a solicitation, you in their phone number and their email.
And the CA is the contract administrator.
That's correct.
That's assigned to handling the solicitation.
Yes.
So Elke, I just want to hold right there and ask Angela, what's our timing? Because we have certification, and I see in the chat that there's a lot of people interested in certification. So I want to be sure that we're.
Tasha, we're here till 3:30.
Okay, great.
And I'm almost at the end. I am right at the end. Okay. So 12-month look ahead is always a good thing to have. Again, you would find that on that same link on the solicitation page of the vendor portal page, a 12-month. And I've also given you a direct link later in the process, but this is going to give you a look at 12 months of what, because honestly, if you're looking for opportunities, you need to be here every day on this web, on the vendor portal open solicitations, just because it's that fluid. It changes daily. Procurements open and close daily. So if you're looking for opportunities, you want to be here on the open solicitation. On the 12-month look ahead, it's like a calendar. If you're doing something right now, let me see, and that'll end in 6 months. Let me see what they got coming up so I can know to prepare. That's what this would be good for, to look at the 12-month look ahead, or just to have this in your toolkit for when you're searching for opportunities. And again, you would just click on the blue. If it's blue, that's something that you're able to click on it, and it takes you to the next page of that, probably where they're giving you more information on the opportunity, which would look something like this. It's the look ahead summary. So for small business resources, certainly if you submitted a bid and you want to inquire or a proposal and you want to inquire to DEOD, we're one of the 3 departments within the agency that you can contact during the solicitation phase. So DEOD bid proposal evaluation would be the inbox for that. If it's pre-award solicitation and you just have a question and you want to be able to identify small businesses, where can you identify, or what NAICS codes, things like that, you would email DEODS at metro.net. That's for solicitation inquiries. One of our most important inboxes, and if you're ever working on a Metro project as a prime or a sub and you're facing any kind of issues when it comes to post-award, prompt payment, termination substitution, What else could it be? Just anything that you're not, if you just don't feel good about what's happening on a project or anything, SB compliance inquiry at metro.net is the inbox for you to reach out to DEOD directly. We recently found out that some people don't know that, that they come to DEOD with those issues. Then they go to the CA, the contract administrator, for information. If you are a small business, certified small business, and you are working on a metro project, DEOD is your resource, and you can reach out to us and contact us individually, directly, if you know our email addresses or phone numbers, or you can go through this inquiry inbox and say, hey, I was on a presentation and Elke said reach out. You can put my name in there and they will get that message to me for a response back. The 12-month look ahead, this is a direct link because I'm sure we will be providing this presentation as a resource for you guys after today's event. And that is all that I have. Ramon Ortiz, you are up. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, especially because I'm looking at the chat and I see caterers, and I did send them a message letting them know how excited I am because I need caterers to get certified. So with that, I'll go ahead and start on the certification portion. As Elke mentioned, I'm the director of certification here at LA Metro. The importance of getting certified. Well, small business certifications are similar to professional certifications that they document a spatial capability that allow you to compete in a marketplace. As mentioned and seen in the chat, everybody knows we're not even 4 years away anymore. We're basically there for the Olympics, and not only the Olympics, the Super Bowl, World Cup, NBA All-Star Game. We just had the World Series parade. So it's a very busy time, and meeting with my counterparts, we're looking and we're identifying where our needs are going to be as far as getting people certified, and where there's going to be a need, not only here at LA Metro, but with my other, counterparts at other, whether it be the city, whether it be the airport. We're constantly meeting. And certification is the biggest and most important point there, in where we're trying to get everybody certified in the type of work that they have. There's so many opportunities coming up. And we want to increase your visibility as to prime contractors looking to meet not only Metro opportunities, but elsewhere, but also focus on Metro for now. Prime contractors are required to meet SB and DBE goals on Metro contracts. And as a certified firm, you can help them meet that goal. So that's why we want to get you on a database, want to get you certified with the type of work that you could do. Certification helps level the playing field. That's what the federal DBE program was designed to do. Allow small businesses that are owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals a fair chance and a good opportunity to compete on both federally and non-federally funded transportation contracts. That's why we mirrored our SBE program after the DBE. We want to create the same opportunity, whether you meet both requirements or whether you have one. We want to create opportunity for both. Next slide. Okay, so currently Metro offers 2 types of certifications. I know on one of the questions on the chat was, how do we get started? Well, you would submit an application, and we streamlined that process and made it a lot easier by one application for both DBE and SBE. If you just simply qualify for SBE, and I'll go over the requirements, it'll be the same application as DBE. If you qualify for both, it's one application. So we try to narrow it and tailor it so it's a lot easier for the applicant. So the DBE program itself, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, is a federal program, and we abide by the Code of Federal Regulations 49 Part 26. I'll summarize it because we don't like to read a whole Bible worth of information from the Code of Federal Regulations, but it's you need to meet the requirements of this section. And as such, we are members. LA Metro is a member of the California Unified Certification Program, or CUCP. You will hear that acronym very, very commonly, and which means we're one of the 10 certifying DBE agencies in the state of California. Being a member, we have reciprocity with the other agencies that are certified for DBE in the state of California. There's 10 of us. Locally, it would be the city, the airport, us, San Diego and Caltrans for this region. Although to be honest, I would say about 95 to 96% of the certified firms in this region are certified with LA Metro. So definitely come to us to get certified. And again, since we have reciprocity, this creates opportunity for you on all DBE projects within the state of California. So when it comes to SBE, our small business enterprise program is specific to Metro. It is very unique in that we mirror the DBE program, with the exception of this program is race and gender neutral. We kind of also see it as a subset of the DBE in that if you meet the DBE requirements, you're going to meet the SBE requirements as they're the same. In the next slide, I'll go over the LSBE requirements, which is another subset of the SBE that I'll go into detail. Although we don't we don't certify for a DVBE or disabled veteran, we do have an agreement with the Department of General Services where we do accept their certifications. So if you're looking for an opportunity as a disabled veteran, you would go to their site, the DGS, get certified through there, and we accept their certification here at LA Metro. Next slide. Okay, so the LSBE program here at LA Metro is, like I mentioned, a subset of the SBE. And just a little bit of history on it. In February of 2022, the Metro Board approved the LSBE preference program. It was designed to strengthen the local economy and continue to support small businesses and maximizing contracting opportunities for small businesses. So it's a very important program here at LA Metro. And what we ended up doing was going back and looking at our roughly 2,100 certified firms that are SBE certified with us and seeing which ones met that local component. For those that did meet it, which is one, to be headquartered in the county of Los Angeles. And by that, we mean that you physically conduct and manage all of your operations here in the county, and that you've done so for the last 6 months. Well, what we ended up doing for those of you that are certified, we went ahead and grandfathered you in as an LSBE if you met those 2 requirements. For there is a vetting process for anybody who's new, and it's just, we're going to look at the information you submit with your SBE and DBE application, whether or not you meet those requirements. If, let's say, you don't, and let's say you're doing business, Orange County, for example, and you're interested in getting an LSB designation and you move your headquarters to LA and do so for a period of 6 months, we could grant you the LSB certification as well. Okay, next slide. So what are the requirements for a DBE and an SBE? Again, since we mirror the DBE in our Metro specific SBE program, the requirements are going to be very, very similar, and with a few exceptions, but these are the requirements for both programs. You have to be an independent business and organized for profit. Obviously, that excludes nonprofits. We're looking at other options for nonprofit, but as the program stands, it excludes nonprofits. Okay, your personal net worth for any of the qualifying individual or qualifiers cannot exceed 2.047 million individually. The reason I say individually, because this is a figure that was recently raised, and a question that always comes up when I do these presentations is, what if there's 3 owners and together they exceed the 2.047 million? Doesn't work that way. It's each individual owner cannot exceed the 2.047 million. We don't collect all the owners and test whether or not they're under it. We do it individually. So each individual cannot exceed the 2.047 million. I just wanted to clarify that because that does come up a lot. Next is the annual gross receipts. We take a 3-year average for this, but you cannot exceed 30.72 million. That figure has been adjusted for inflation annually, and it does seem to be going up every single March. So project by March, that's going to be increased again. As far as the personal net worth, going back to it, that hadn't been increased in 13 years. They finally increased it this year in May, which we were extremely happy about, especially in a state like California, where 1.32 million was a little bit low considering the property values and retirement assets, which are now excluded from that calculation and were included previously, and that excluded a lot of folks from the program. And thankfully, the program has been modernized, that figure has been increased, and retirement assets, in other words, you're no longer penalized for planning for your retirement when it comes to personal net worth calculation. The qualified individual must demonstrate that they're in control of management and the daily business operations. One of the terms that they use a lot, the FTA uses a lot when discussing the DBE program, is you have to have skin in the game. You got to have control, you got to demonstrate that, and that you make decisions, you hire and you fire, you make all the important decisions in the business, and you're not relying on somebody. That's how we establish control when we vet you for both the DBE and the SBE. Also, the 51% ownership has to be made up of one or more economically disadvantaged individuals. Again, this is where it could be made up. Usually it could be one person, it could own the entire company. But however, that's fine, but we need at least 51% or more by one or more economically disadvantaged individuals. And again, that could be made up by several individuals. There could be 20, let's say 15% make up the economically disadvantaged individuals. That makes up 55%. That's what we would look at. So it's 51% or more in whatever denomination that comes up to. So next slide. Okay. The additional requirements for DBE, this is where the DBE program is a little bit different, and it's basically one requirement, and that's the DBE must also be socially disadvantaged. By socially disadvantaged individuals, we mean individuals who are citizens of the United States, who are a member of what we know as the presumptive groups, and this is a federal designation: African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, subcontinent Asian Americans, and women. Those are the 6 presumptive groups. Those are the ones that are qualified for DBE. For those folks that say, hey, what if I don't fall into one of those groups? There is what we know as Appendix E that you could apply under that. And we have to do a vetting process. It's a much more stringent one, but it is possible for someone to apply. But however, you are considered a member of the presumptive group if you're one of those 6 groups. Next slide. Okay, NAICS codes. So NAICS codes, I know Elke pulled up one of our solicitations and showed all the NAICS codes that apply. NAICS codes is a section that I like to really focus on, just because if you're going through certification or are you already certified, it is very, very important to have the correct and applicable NAICS codes tied to your certification, whether you be DBE or SBE. The reason why is because if you go through the certification process and you're certified, you're going to be listed on databases. And think about our prime contractors. They're not going to be looking for you because they don't know you by name. They're not going to be looking for you under that. They're going to be looking under type of work or NAICS codes. That's what they're going to be looking at to make a connection. If, let's say, there's a 30% goal and they want to meet that goal, that's how they're going to do it. They're going to go through that process and they're going to look for you under NAICS codes. Also, as you saw the solicitation that Elke pulled up, it has those NAICS codes. Let's say you already are certified. You want to make sure you have the ones that you need, and you could always add more so long as we vet you and we are able to verify that you create that type of work. So that's why it's important to go, and I keep saying NAICS codes, but let me properly introduce NAICS codes. They're North American Industry Classification System. And it's a standard used by federal statistical agencies. So they're put out by the Census Bureau. You would go to that link. You would look at the type of work that you do, and you would look at all the drawdown codes, which is very important because you want to identify all the type of work that you do and get as specific as you can and get those. If you're looking for certification, identify those codes. Pick all the ones that you could demonstrate you could do and have them added to your certification. If you're already certified, go through an expansion request with my team. And we could add those codes, and they're very important because as you could see, if you look at a solicitation, you're going to read it. Let's say it's due in 2 weeks, and you could do that type of work, but you don't have the applicable NAICS codes. You would have to go through the process, and definitely keep looking at our look aheads and look ahead to see what's going to be coming up so you could add those codes. That way you could be, again, connected to and have those added to your database, our database, so that way, you know, people can make that connection and know that they could get those services from you. Next slide. Okay, so there's a change that we did in May, and this was something that we had discussed internally about facilitating and making certification a lot easier once you are certified. So we eliminated what's known as the 5-year requirement. Basically, we would have you reapply every 5 years, and we eliminated that because we could get a lot of the same information from your declaration of eligibility. That's a new name for the annual update affidavit for those of you who have gone through that process. the DOT changed the name to Declaration of Eligibility. And basically what you're doing is declaring that you're still eligible for the program, that nothing has changed that would affect your certification, or that you still meet the requirements under 49 CFR 26. So we've done that, and by limiting the 5-year, your only requirement once you are certified is to submit this form with your most recent taxes once a year, and that's at the anniversary of your certification. So 12 months from your day of certification, you would submit that. Don't worry, our system sends out notices and tells you when it's due. And that's your only requirement once you're certified. Again, Metro and the CUCP for that matter, we've removed that 5-year requirement just to make it a lot easier for firms that are already certified to remain certified and not add an undue burden on you to remain certified. Next slide. Okay, so here are our resources. People are going to ask, how do I get certified? How much does it cost? Well, it's actually free. You don't have to pay to get certified. You just go to our site, metro.gov2g.com. We have an online portal. That's how you start your application. You create your account. We have a tracking tool there where it's going to show you this is what you need to fill up based on your type of business, whether you're an LLC, sole proprietorship, or anything, what have you. What you would do is it'll tell you what documents you need to submit. It'll tell you, okay, you're 51% complete with your application. You're 75%. This is what you need to submit in order to submit a complete application. Once you submit your complete application, we take it from there. We're going to review it for completeness. We might return it if something is missing or we need something to clarify, something that needs to be clarified for us. But once you submit your application, we assign it to team. By statute, we have 90 days to get you certified. We usually exceed that so long as we have a complete application and you are responsive to our inquiries. We need to do a site visit. We're going to schedule that site visit. That's done virtually. So it'll be similar to what we're doing right now. We're going to have a conversation over Teams or over Zoom or that kind of format. We're going to do that. We do record it, just to let you know, and that's a requirement by the federal government, just in case there's a discrepancy later on in the process. And this is elevated to the Department of Transportation in Washington. They have requested us to record all conversations. So just to let you know. But that is how certification works. Now, I did take notes based on the chat. So the first question was, how do we start doing business with Metro? Well, certification is one of your first steps. There's also register as a vendor. I bring that up because a lot of folks can confuse the two process. They think once you get certified, you don't have to register as a vendor. You do. You have to do both. So get registered as a vendor. That's a process on our Metro Connect page. And you start that, and then you get certified. If you qualify for the program, you start your application, and we take it from there. You get certified, and then the next step is to, what I highly recommend, go to other agencies and see what certifications they set. Reciprocity, DBE, we do have reciprocity with the 10 certifying agencies. So if you're looking at an opportunity in Caltrans, you don't have to get certified with them as DBE. You could come to us, you use our certification over there, and vice versa. If you're looking at our 12-month look ahead and seeing an opportunity that you want to bid on as a DBE and you're certified with Caltrans, we accept their certification. So that's where reciprocity, when it comes to DBE, we do have reciprocity. We're currently for SBE looking at reciprocity options because we do not have any. That said, even though there's no formal reciprocity, some agencies do accept ours. City of Los Angeles accepts our SBE, County of Los Angeles, Metrolink, LAUSD, LACCD, and those are just to name a few that do accept our certification, even though there's no formal reciprocity. If there is a certification that you have with somebody else, let's say you are SBE certified with the City of LA, you would have to get SBE certified with us. Again, because there is no formal reciprocity. And the reason I put that out there is because folks will think, okay, I'm SBE certified over here. Does this count? DGS count? No, they don't. So I want to put that out there so you go through the process and get certified with us, and to go check with those other agencies to see what other certifications you might need with them. Again, I always encourage to do this ahead of time, even if you don't see an opportunity with us. Maybe down the road, there will be one. And do this, get the certification out of the way. I see a lot of people who wait for certification. They'll see a solicitation that's due in 3 weeks, and then we'll submit their certification application. Well, again, statute has us do it in 90 days. We could work with you and try to expedite it, but we could only do so much if we don't have a complete file. And let's say there's 10 people that want to get their expedition certified. One of the things I tell people, get it out of the way, have your certification ready, go to the other agencies, see what they have coming up and what certifications they offer, because the more you have, the better. Definitely the next step after certification, network, talk to folks, go to events. We go everywhere. We have events like this where we provide information, and a lot of this information is fluid just because of the fact that we're in an ever-changing market. I meet with my counterparts at other agencies, and there's so much just for the Olympics alone that are coming up. So many opportunities coming up and so many areas that we're identifying where we have to do outreach. I mentioned catering. I could count on one hand how many catering firms I have certified. And I've been trying to outreach to caterers, so that's why it was great to see two on this call. At least two. I definitely saw two. Because I'm interested in getting those folks certified for opportunities, not only with Metro, but with our other agencies that we work very closely with. Again, look aheads are very important. I recommend looking at those look aheads just to see what NICS codes you might be able to qualify for and opportunities are out there. So I definitely recommend that, and I'll give you a little cheat code that I give to folks. That's very important. If you're unsure about NICS codes, see what your competitors are doing. If they're certified, go see what they're doing. See what NICS codes they have. If you could do that work, by all means, request those codes and demonstrate that you could do that type of work. Let me see what else. What other? I'm just looking at the chat, see if I didn't miss anything.
Ramon, this is Angela. I see a question in the chat that says, how do we know if we were approved as an SBE?
You would get a letter from us, SBE certification letter. You could also check our query, and you could check by your name or your NICS code, and you would come up.
Okay. Another question is, how can we sign up for the Small Business Technical Assistance Program?
I believe that might be Elke's.
Yeah, I think it's not ready. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to get off mute. Yes, that is, you can look for our small business technical to be early part of 2025, I would say, and within the first 3 months, hopefully within the first 3 months, because that is a procurement that we will be putting out for a technical assistance contractor to do that work for us. So, but hopefully within the first quarter of the calendar year 2025.
Okay. And I see here, if you're certified with the city of LA, is that good for Metro?
For DBE, yes. For SBE, we don't accept their SBE, but they accept ours. So it would have to be depending on what certification you do have.
Okay. And then in addition to this recording, can we get some of these links and slides that we can then share with our participants so they then can have those? Yes.
I did
Okay.
see a question from Monica. How long do you have to be, I assume, in business to apply? So there is no timeline. So this is the way it works. We understand that a lot of folks are new. When we look at tax returns, that's for existing businesses. But if you're a brand new firm and you get started, we don't penalize you for that. If so long as you could demonstrate that you have the ability to do the work and you have the plan to do the work, you can't just get certified and say, oh, maybe one day I'll do it. But if you're ready to go and you're ready to, let's say the next day you get certified, you get a contract and you're ready to go, then yes, by all means, we're not going to penalize you for being new. We want you to get certified.
That's great. Okay. Are there any other questions that you guys have that you'd like to place in the chat for our Metro?
And while they're doing that, I did also include some other links here regarding our Metro Connect events. On our vendor portal, you want to go to our calendar of events and news. Again, this is metro.net/connect, as well as ways to connect to receive information or emails about events. You would do metro.net/connect now. And as you mentioned, Angela, I will be providing this presentation for distribution to the members. Again, I mentioned our strategic outreach team. Certainly you can reach out to them directly at Metro. I'm sorry, I see an error. It's Metro. Well, I don't know if that's an error. If that, I'm sure that should be Metro. Metro Connect at metro.net. And we'll make sure we get that. And that concludes our presentation. But I did just want to say one thing based on what Ramon was saying and about certification. One thing I always share with small businesses is when it comes to certification, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because certainly you can work on a Metro project and any other project and not be certified. But when we have goals on our projects, it's that certification that's needed to meet that goal.
Mhm. Very good.
Mhm.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Let's give our Metro team a round of applause. This is great that they came and took the time to lay out the process and the pathway for us to get certified to be able to do business at Metro. And who knew Ramon is looking for caterers at Metro. And so that's the caterers' lucky day here. So they certainly, all of the caterers that are in the program are online today should definitely start getting certified. And so I see others here that are part of different programs that we have. And we want to make sure that if you decide to sign up, and I'm sure that, and I hope that you will, because there's lots and lots of projects going on, that you'll let us know so that we can make sure that you get through the process and you get your certification, you get registered, and so you can get that contract, because Metro can change your life. You get contract, right, Elke? Right, Ramon?
Absolutely.
Right,
Absolutely.
excellent.
That's right. That's right. And I know it can be a little intimidating because
Yeah.
Metro is a large agency, but we're here to help our entire team, our outreach team, and we have how to do business workshops the second Tuesday of every month at Metro headquarters. So if you want to sign up for that and just go back through the process, it's very informative. Sometimes it takes a couple of times to hear it and understand it and, to grasp what the next steps are. But we're here to be a resource to you. So thank you again for inviting us. We'll be sure to make the presentation available. And if you would like us to host specifically just a certification workshop,
Yeah.
on specific questions on the application itself, I know Ramon and his team will be happy to coordinate something with GLAAACC to do that.
Yep, I think that'd be very helpful, Tasha. Thank you. A click by click study or class of how to really to get rich. Yeah, I know that would be very
we'll
helpful.
happy to do that.
Great. We'll see you then in 2025 with that class.
Okay.
And before we leave, then we want to pass it back to Jessica, who's got a few upcoming announcements for GLAAACC.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you all. All right, guys. We really appreciate you attending today's How to Do Business with Metro. We hope you found the presentation insightful and really helpful to the process. Thank you, Tasha, Elke, and Ramon, for all of your wonderful tidbits and just vast knowledge of this process. Thank you to my GLAAACC staff and my team for helping with this event today. And we want to share some exciting upcoming events as we get to the end of the year. We have one more member meetup for the year. That is November 19th at 4 p.m. That is an event via Zoom. It's a great way to get to know our member businesses in a casual environment. If you want to present as a member, make sure you contact Naomi at naomi@glaaac.org. And if you want to just come and observe and hear about some of our businesses, our member businesses, sign up on our website. And then we have our in-person annual GLAAACC Holiday Mixer. It is December 4th at 1010 Wines. This is a $20 donation event. This money goes towards Parents of Watts and the urban outreach. And so it's such a great time to connect, celebrate, and do good for others. And again, you can register at glaac.org, GL, 3 A's, 2 C's.org. And as always, if you are not a member, we encourage you to become a member. Join GLAACC today. We have a number of benefits for members, including access to other special events, exciting exclusive opportunities. You can find more at our website. And again, thank you so much for your time today. We hope you enjoyed our program. Thank you, guys.
I got a question.
Yes.
Where is the Metro location at for training? Or
So that would be at our Metro headquarters at 1 Gateway Plaza at Union Station. I believe we're going to be in the conference room. Don't quote me, the boardroom, but if not, it would be something on the 3rd floor.
Okay, great. And I see some of the folks here in the audience today are part of GLAAACC's Business Evolution program. That's our entrepreneurial boot camp. And so we'll see y'all in class tomorrow, 10:30. Right, Kedrick? Who else? Right, Jacob? Genevieve? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. We're going to give you back a few minutes of your time today. And you guys take care. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. And it looks like that link for our events is in the
Thank
chat.
you.
If you want to click that before we go, make sure you get signed up for these upcoming events. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all. Bye-bye.